What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Game Soup. I'm your host, Damon Hadfield. I'm joined now by Andrew Goldfarb, Marty Sleva,
Hello.
and Jose Otero. Several big game announcements, Nate, today. Probably the strangest one, maybe the most surprising.
Yeah.
Tales from the Borderlands.
Yeah.
A Telltale episodic gaming series.
They're a busy company.
Yeah, we did not expect
Right?
that.
Yeah.
We knew they were working on Game of Thrones.
Sure.
Yep.
We were expecting that announcement today.
Yep.
Yeah.
We did get that confirmation.
Yep.
And we also got this Borderlands game.
And they have Walking Dead and they have Wolf Among Us.
Yeah.
Right.
So they
Yeah.
essentially have 4 games that they are working on currently that are coming out in 2014.
And Walking Dead hasn't even started. Like, that's
The
what's
second-
so weird.
the second
season
season,
of Walking Dead.
yeah.
So it's like, I mean, I think they're almost done with
And
it, and they've
where's-
been teasing it's coming this month.
Where's the second episode of Wolf Among Us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be weird.
Yeah, I don't know. You're a huge Borderlands fan.
Yep.
I'm not. So I'm not very excited about this.
I'm
I don't
not
know.
either.
Like, is that, I don't know, to me that world doesn't seem that interesting. And like the thing that is interesting about those games is sort of the first person shooter Diablo mechanics.
I think, yeah.
None of which are
Oh, no,
gonna be
I'm
games.
totally with you. I think that Borderlands has always been sort of a fun co-op game, but I've never cared about it for a story reason. I've always found the story is silly. I think the idea of Telltale
sure.
bringing some good writers a good experience with kind of the heavy choices that they're kind of known for.
Well, now
Yeah.
I would say Borderlands 2 has some of the best writing
I totally
of
agree.
any game
Yeah.
I've ever played.
I mean, I think Borderlands 2, like Borderlands 1, I agree with everything you guys just said, but after Borderlands 2, and especially after the Tiny Tina DLC where they made it more serious, like, I mean, there's some good stuff there.
Yeah, see,
like, and
I-
Anthony Burch is amazing.
I didn't hang on to Borderlands too long enough. I gave it about 2 or 3 hours, and the writing just did not impress me. But,
I mean, the
you
thing
know,
that
we're-
makes
we're
Borderlands
different.
special is when it has good writing. Because I agree there are dumb, silly moments, and those are the moments that I certainly wouldn't care about in a Telltale game. I think Telltale can make something interesting out of that. Like,
Yeah,
I think
I agree.
they can find that thing that makes it a little more special, a little more grounded.
I really hope this game is very lighthearted. Because their other 3 properties, including
Are
Great
not.
are not at all.
Yeah.
You're not going to find a joke in any of those 3 games. And Telltale's a company that started with games like Strong Bad and Tales from Monkey Island.
Yep,
and
no,
they,
that's
did
right.
Sam, they brought Sam and Max.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
exactly.
Telltale's
They did
current.
Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah.
That's
Right, yeah. No, and the look for their games right now, at least the engine, that sort of cell-shaded cartoon style, it fits. I
Oh,
think.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
let's
perfect
see.
for Borderlands, yeah.
Let's see what
that
happens.
I mean, when did they? So Telltale, notoriously, same engine. Like they have a lot of technical problems on all of these games. They didn't announce platforms. Like, when do they go next gen? Like, are they finally going to make a new engine for maybe? Like, what do we think is the final of those games? Probably Game of Thrones is the latest of the 4.
I would assume so. Yeah.
So I mean, is that finally next gen, or are they still going to be PS3 360?
Yeah, I mean, I think if I had to make a bet, I would say Game of Thrones would be the first next gen one.
Yeah, that
and
sounds right.
it would probably be cross gen, maybe.
Or like maybe
I don't know,
Walking Dead.
it kind of looks like the Borderlands game is farther along.
Oh yeah,
definitely
yeah.
would,
That's why
yeah.
I think that'll still be PS3 and 360.
I mean, the
You
Game
think
of
they would
Thrones
just want to
one-
go cross-platform current and last gen?
It would be nice if they did.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is that Game of Thrones, the way they were talking about it, and the trailer they showed was all text. And when they were talking about it, they were like, "Oh, we're going to do something." Like, I mean, they didn't seem like they were very far in that at all. Whereas Borderlands very clearly has been started.
But this has kind of fit with Telltale announcements before. Like with Walking Dead, I think it was a postcard, and they just kind of invited folks and said, "Hey, we're working on this," and then you didn't see it for a long time. Same thing happened with Fables.
yeah, with Fables,
Until it became,
that announcement, it was announced alongside The Walking Dead.
Yeah,
and
that's
obviously
right.
it took that long to make.
But I mean, this is a very different Telltale. I mean, Telltale post Walking Dead is a totally different company. I mean, the fact that they have 4
Why
teams
so?
is incredible.
So why are they different?
Because The Walking Dead won
their
Game of the Year
incredible
awards.
success.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Okay.
They basically doubled the size of the company. Because
Yeah.
like look at, I mean, pre-Walking Dead, they had Jurassic Park and Back to the Future, and they would get middling reviews. Like, it wasn't a company that people took as seriously as they do in the era after The Walking
Yeah.
Dead, after
Yeah,
Wolf
it's funny
Among Us.
how Jurassic Park has been erased from people's memories too. But
Yeah.
hey, whatever. You know,
Yeah,
it's
I
good
mean-
to see them doing really well.
Yeah, and Wolf Among Us, I think, was the important thing that proved that Walking Dead wasn't a fluke.
Yeah.
That is an amazingly talented studio, and so I mean, I guess I'm not super hyped on Borderlands, but I should give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I mean, I
sure.
hope they're not overreaching. Right?
Yeah,
Like,
I agree.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you think we really see all of these in 2014? They said Game of Thrones is 2014. Do you think this?
Did they say Borderlands is
yeah,
2014?
they
Yeah.
did, right?
Yeah.
They did say that.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's a lot of games.
I mean, do you think it's going to be Walking Dead, Wolf Among Us, Borderlands, Game of Thrones, and then Episode 2? And like, are they going to go alternate, or are they just going
I don't know,
to
they
finish
make-
Walking Dead and Wolf Among Us first?
They make really good stuff, but they're slow about
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah.
Like we're still waiting for episode 2 of
And
Wolf Among Us,
overlapping series, like we were already talking about how weird it was. Like they've been teasing that Walking Dead Episode 1 will come out this month of Season 2. And then you assume that's being followed by Episode 2 of Wolf. But then if they do Episode 1 of Borderlands, it's like by the time Episode 3 of Wolf comes out.
I would bet we don't see Borderlands until both Walking Dead and Wolf are finished.
Yeah, so maybe they'll do the same thing with Game of Thrones and Borderlands where they're alternating the way they are now with Wolf and
Yeah.
Walking Dead. Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. It's what is that game going to...
Their next poker game's going to be weird.
I'm just trying to think of the Borderlands Telltale game. Like,
Yeah. They said it's not Vault Hunters, it's wannabe Vault Hunters. So, I mean, the idea is going to be these people who are probably not running and gunning in that way because they're not going to be super strong and, able to kind of find, the most important parts of Pandora. Like, these are going to be people who are just living their normal lives, I guess, or who want to become vault hunters. So obviously there's some kind of story potential there.
Yeah. And I guess the one good thing, too, is that The Wolf Among Us, I thought, really sort of elevated Telltale's ability to script an action scene. Like, the fight scene in Wolf Among Us was actually really entertaining, whereas most of the action scenes in The Walking Dead...
Oh, they were all over the place.
Yeah, sort of broken.
A first-person shooter.
Yeah,
like the weird quick-time events where you're like...
And with each episode, they seem to have changed with The Walking Dead, right? I mean, they tried one style and then a different, so they were filling it out. It looks like it paid off with Wolf Among Us.
So hopefully they keep evolving that.
Yeah. And they said in Game of Thrones there will still be battles and you'll still be swinging a sword.
But handled in a Telltale way.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah. Speaking of... point-and-click adventure games, you guys are really excited about that new Double Fine.
Whoa, that game was great.
Absolutely.
What's it called again?
Broken Age.
Broken Age.
Broken Age. First half of it is coming out in January. And they announced Elijah Wood is the voice of the male lead. The male protagonist. Andrew and I got to play the game a few weeks ago.
It's so good.
Yeah, we played the demo that they showed at the show, and it was incredible. I mean, it is a traditional old-school point-and-click adventure game, but it is absolutely gorgeous.
It's absolutely gorgeous, and it's smart. It's modern. Like, it's like in a way that Telltale is still doing traditional point-and-click adventure games, and it's kind of, a lot of people, The Walking Dead is maybe even the first adventure game they played, or at least in some time.
Sure.
Double Fine, it's kind of interesting because they have, Tim Schafer obviously has this long history of being an adventure game developer, but that game has these very smart little tweaks to the formula that are really cool, like even just the way you click on things, and you have this almost like fast travel mechanic, and there's like, your inventory is like really smart, and like it'll flash when you can use it in a particular area, like it's just like, they've streamlined kind of the genre in a really smart way, in addition to the art just being gorgeous.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's, that game is sort of that was the first huge Kickstarter success for a video game. And so, I think a lot of people are going to be looking at that when it comes out in January for sort of like, are you going to be able to be as good as promised? And from what we played so far, definitely is.
Another thing coming out in January is this next-gen Tomb Raider.
Yeah,
the definitive edition.
Yeah, the worst kept secret.
Yeah, that one we also heard about earlier. Confirmed today, January 28th, I believe is the release date.
Yeah.
Did you all play Tomb Raider?
Yeah,
I
definitely.
did. Yeah.
Will you play it again on your?
I didn't
PS4,
finish it,
Xbox
so
One?
I might finish it on current gen, I guess, since it's out now.
Whatever gen this is.
But I will say the footage they showed looked pretty good. I mean, it did focus a lot on the action-heavy stuff, which is sort of, I always thought that was sort of the second part of that game.
Well, I think
it was
Marty
more
said
about,
after they showed the trailer, it was like that was the most. Like they entirely missed the point.
Yeah. Totally non-indicative of why people love the game. Of that sort of Metroidvania.
It was all like metal guitars. Like, chud, chud, chud. She's a badass Terminator.
Like, what about the time you have to kill a deer?
Yeah, she terminated a dude point blank with a shotgun during the trailer. I'm like, okay.
My Lara wasn't that crazy. They said it's coming packaged with like all the multiplayer DLC, which I haven't really played.
And they have like the digital comic and a bunch of stuff.
I mean, I would like if there was some new single-player content that would have been exciting. If there was either a new mission or.
I loved Tomb Raider. I would totally play it again anyway. So just I'll just play a prettier version again.
Yeah,
and it's so funny because I was watching that footage and obviously it looks great, but like Tomb Raider and current gen look great too. So I think.
It's definitely one of the best.
It's also interesting that a game that at least a couple months ago it undersold its targets is now on next gen. I just thought that was really.
That's probably a big part of why they're doing it.
Sell a few more copies.
You got to spend money to make that money. You're spending money to support those
rather than making a whole new game. That's certainly they can put less people on or fewer people on that than they would.
True.
And we do know that they are working. Crystal Dynamics is working on a Tomb Raider next gen sequel.
They said that, and they have a new IP too or something.
They do well. I think they do. I don't think there's been an official announcement, but I think
I think you almost just let that leak.
I'll totally play it again. Some people were complaining that it's still $60, but I mean, sorry.
I mean, that's just the way it would be awesome if, like Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty, you could upgrade for $10. But
well, I mean, it's going to be like if they had released Tomb Raider Game of the Year edition, like if there wasn't a new gen right now, like if this had been a normal year, like last year, and then PS3 360 version of Tomb Raider Game of the Year edition would have been $60 when it came out too. So I mean, like it's not that different. Like people do this all the time.
For sure.
And another interesting announcement today was No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
That's what it's called?
Yeah, No Man's Sky.
This is the new game from Hello Games, the makers of Joe Danger.
Looks exactly like Joe Danger.
A big fan of it. Basically Joe Danger 3. No, this is like a much more ambitious game than Joe Danger.
Four people are making that game.
Four people are making this game, and it's this massively multiplayer procedural like sci-fi exploration shooter.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Like seriously, I mean, I was writing up the news story. I was like, these are a lot of words. I mean, it sounds insane. It sounds like everyone is in this huge universe that is procedurally generated, and you're flying around and shooting things and
all in first person.
Exploring all in first person.
I mean, we were saying it looked like an Oculus Rift demo. Like if you've ever played the space shooting, like the dogfighting Oculus Rift demo, it looks like that. But I mean,
They should totally get that on Oculus Rift.
oh, totally, it would be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, they called it next gen. Did they say what?
They didn't say what
platform.
platform, and they didn't say if this is 2014. Like, I mean, with four, that studio has to staff up. Like, how can 4 people make that game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Typically, their games hit, or they're cross-platform games.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or even on iOS. Joe Dangerous on
Yeah, on
iOS.
iOS.
Yeah. But it wasn't. It was originally PS3 exclusive, right? And
Yeah, but then it came to Xbox.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know their like the Twitter response was insane. I feel like that was a game that a ton of people got excited about.
Yeah.
That was a
Because
surprise.
it's just different.
Yeah,
Like,
it seems
I
like
mean,
something different.
I didn't think the
And it was
trailer was.
unexpected.
Yeah, the trailer wasn't like exciting or anything, but I mean, it's pretty and it's like something that's different. It's not a first-person shooter in the way that every other trailer.
Yeah. It's not based on a property. It's not a sequel.
Plus, people like the story of the indie studio.
Oh, absolutely.
I thought it was weird how they talked about it. He flew himself out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of made the show seem kind of cheap. It's a little hard. I'm still trying to understand what the game is, like what you do in the game, how it works.
Yeah. What?
It's about
what are the
exploring
goals?
space,
Yeah.
exploring planets, but
It seemed like there was combat as well, like space combat.
Yeah.
So he said there was ground combat too. He said it's always first person, even when you go down on the ground.
Okay.
So I don't think they showed any of that unless I missed it, but I think
I feel like they did.
yeah,
Maybe.
I feel like you do have like infantry
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
well, thanks, guys. I think those are all the.
Wait, I don't want to get
Oh, I'm
cranky.
sorry. I'm
I don't want to
sorry.
get cranky on you on this program.
I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah,
There was some Nintendo Wii U news too.
No one saw this one coming either.
No one saw this coming.
All this stuff.
So,
all this stuff leaked.
yeah, most of what we talked about
Seriously,
actually,
yeah.
we've all
I think
seen
everything
coming.
but Borderlands leaked.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, and the Hello
No
Games.
Man's
So
Sky.
Yeah.
February 21st?
21st. Yeah, in the
21st,
US.
Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze will be out. The new character reveal, the character we wrote about earlier this week. Re-revealed, or confirmed actually, was Cranky Kong, who has a sort of a Scrooge McDuck, like DuckTales type pogo stick, which was cool.
Yeah.
They showed 2 levels, which, visually looked amazing, but unfortunately, for a lot of folks on the internet, including a lot of people in this office, was kind of a missed opportunity by Nintendo, to just...
What did they miss?
Well, in terms of putting out a foot forward on something that maybe people weren't expecting, or showing a game that is coming in 2014 but wasn't just another...
Reggie started talking about his Metroid pin, and I was like,
Whoa.
oh no, he just likes Metroid.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, right? Like, and that's what's funny about Nintendo. They did not have an E3 press conference because they believe so much in Nintendo Direct, and they put all of their stock into Nintendo Direct. All they talk about is Nintendo Direct. So, like, them doing this appearance, I never for a second thought it was going to be some huge megaton reveal, because that's just not their style. That's not what they're doing right now.
I thought you were pretty excited and wondering about a couple things.
So my theory was that the most I saw it being was a new Smash Brothers character, because they've done those fairly regularly. It's like almost like a solid 3 or 4 week interval. And this week there wasn't one, but it was time for there to be one. So I thought maybe they'd do it on Saturday instead of Friday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I mean, I still didn't think it was going to be like Wii U Zelda or like Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah,
Like this isn't the show for that.
There were some crazy theories going into it, and I will say, again, the game looks good, but unfortunately, it's also what we expected, and it's just this was an opportunity to just at least remind folks, hey, Nintendo and Wii U are part of the conversation still, guys, and we have really cool stuff. And that's not to say Donkey Kong didn't look cool, for sure, but it is to say, hey, show something big, show something that's going to have people...
Show something new.
That is just going to have people, evangelizing Nintendo.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
Cranky Kong's not cutting it?
We'll see.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I don't think the reaction sort of justifies it.
I'm excited. I like Cranky. I love that series. I like the pogo stick mechanic seems neat.
I do
No,
too,
it does.
but I mean, the Metroid pin just reminds me of how Retro should be doing that instead. Like, I mean, or some like a new IP.
Sure.
Like Retro doing Donkey Kong feels like a waste of their talent, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You're a jerk.
I know.
Andrew Goldfarb, jerk. Thanks, guys. Viewers, stay tuned. We'll be talking a lot more about all these games here on IGN GameScoop.